Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Well, it's Friday, but this is Thursday's vlog. I fell asleep last night. I was just gonna lay down for just a little bit, and then I slept all night long. I got the best night's sleep. But I will tell you, it does not fare well for me as far as vlogging today because I have a lot of stuff to do. I have a recovery commitment here in like 20 minutes. I am on my way right now. So I'm going to get coffee and then be on my way. And then at 3:50 this afternoon, I have a vet appointment with Boo Radley for this hot spot on his back. It's driving the little guy crazy. And then Sarah is coming over tonight, and we are gonna watch movies. We're gonna put the projector up, and we're gonna have like a movie night outside on the back patio. So, and I'm gonna make videos at some point in between all of that. I have some videos that I wanna make today. So I don't know how long I'm gonna vlog for, because I should have vlogged last night. Well, my plan had been to lay down for like an hour. I don't know why I got so tired last night, but my plan had been to lay down for like an hour and get up and vlog and then finish the book for a true crime book club that we're reading this month. Well, we read it last month. It's called The Lost Girls by John Glad, about the women that were abducted in Cleveland. So that was my plan last night, was to vlog and then finish that book. And that didn't happen. So this book is taking me so long to get through. I did a whole booktube video about it yesterday, about me having a hard time getting through this book. It's just, the subject matter is so dark. I just can't even imagine how these women lived through it. It's like unbelievable to me. Oh wow, there's quite a line at Starbucks today. Okay. So that had been my plan last night, but that didn't happen. So I'm gonna have to listen to a lot of that book today. I'm trying to, like, my goal, which I thought would be so easy, would be to read 2 books a week. I mean, I kind of have to do that if I want to reach my goal by the end of the year. So my plan was to finish the John Glatt book earlier in the week. Well, definitely by Wednesday had been my plan. And then to start something else that was a little bit shorter and listen to that maybe at the end of the week. But that didn't happen. What did I do last night? Well, Alex had a birthday party. So yesterday I went to the pool with Tanya Jean. We had a really nice afternoon. We got up there at, she got up there about 2. I got up there about 2:15, 2:20. And we stayed there till like 4:30. It was really nice. And then I went to Target afterwards and I got some stuff to review. And, do you ever not understand bumper stickers? This one over here says, happily ever after, God saw that it was good. I don't understand it. But it's like really bright out today. It's like my contacts are kind of hurting from the brightness of the sun. Anyway, so after going to the pool, I went to Target, and then I did a review video in the parking lot of Target, and then I came home. Oh, then I did a booktube video on the way home, and then I did a Peter Does Stuff video on the way home. I stopped at McDonald's, and then I did, I came home, and I made a drama video, and I made a Peterisms video. I made a video on every one of my channels yesterday, and then it took me a while to get that stuff done, to get all of that uploaded and everything. Oh, because my vlog was still uploading, and that was taking me forever too, yesterday. And then Alex, he didn't get off work last night until like 8:30. Well, like 8-ish, 8:30, somewhere in there. But one of his friends was having a birthday party downtown, so he just wanted to stop in there and say hi to her really quick. So after work, he went downtown to say happy birthday to her. And then he got home about 10-ish. And I was really hungry last night, so I got Taco Bell. And I downloaded another drag pageant and started watching it. And I watched that while I was eating, and then Alex came home and we hung out and talked for a little bit. And then, I like watched a little bit more of the pageant, and then I came upstairs, and that's when I laid down. And that was my day yesterday. I had a good day yesterday. Yep, and this is my day today. Busy, busy, busy. Busy bee. I'm hoping the vet will like say that there's something we can give to Boo Radley, because this is just like, it's like driving him crazy. And it's just like one little spot. And even though he has this like, he's not wearing it all the time anymore, but like the collar thing on, the blow up collar thing, he still like tries to reach for it and stuff. I don't know, it's just like, you can tell it's driving him crazy. I feel bad for him. They must be busy today at Starbucks. I had a couple phone calls I was going to try to make today too. I'm like so out of this lip gloss. I need to pull another one from my secret hiding place and put it in here. I had a couple phone calls today I needed to make too. But I did get some sleep. Alex texted me last night and he was like, I'm getting ready to leave this party. He was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm eating Taco Bell and watching this drag pageant. He's like, you and your drag pageants. I'm like, I know, I'm like so enjoying them though. It was funny, I was reading the comments on my booktube video yesterday that I made about the book for this month's True Crime Book Club, and it was like the opinions were completely split right down the middle. It was either people that were like, oh yeah, like I really had a hard time with this book too, or people were like, I like read it in 2 days and got like right through it. Nikki, who's been like a member of the book club for a while now, she was like, I read this like really quick for me. It's like an interesting read. Like as far as a true crime book, like it's an interesting read. I think maybe it's just kind of like where I'm at right now, that it's hard to listen to, just, you know, it's just really dark subject.
Hi, welcome to Starbucks. What can I get for you today?
Could I please get a venti iced blonde Americano with an extra shot and 2 Splenda?
Venti iced quad Americano with an extra, so 5 shots?
5 shots, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Venti iced quad Americano. With how many?
Blonde Americano, I'm sorry.
Blonde Americano. Ah, okay. Gotcha. I see now. I was like, quad Americano with an extra shot. Why wouldn't you just tell me 5? But that's okay.
I thought maybe that was the way you were saying it, and I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah. No, you're fine. So, venti iced Americano with an extra shot, blonde, and then you want to add Splenda?
Yeah, like 2 Splenda.
2 Splenda.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
All right. We'll have that out of the window.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing.
I was like, what is this? A quad Americano? Like, I've never heard of that before in my entire life. But then I was like, okay, that would make sense, because then they always say like 5 shots. And so I was like, a quad Americano would be like 4-shot Americano plus 1 would be 5. I'm so silly and my life is so exciting. This woman in the back window of her car, She drives the Ford Fusion, in case any of you care. You can tell her car is very clean. But anyway, she has, she went to St. Mary's of the Woods. She has a St. Mary's bumper sticker. But she has a snow scraper in the back of her window, like in the back windshield. I cannot even think about the fact that we are around the corner from having to scrape snow. I just can't even go there, in all honesty. Like, I know we're like August, September, October. I mean, realistically, 2.5 months. I always talk about staying in the present and not counting down time and stuff like that. But then last year I like counted down like all the weeks until summer. And then summer came and it feels like it's gone so quick. I don't know. But I think I'm actually going to make one of my phone calls now, before on my way to my little thing that I have to go to. So I will pick this back up after I get done with that. So today's not going to be a real long vlog. It's just going to be kind of, well, a lot of people can catch up then because the vlogs have been really long lately. So this will be kind of just a little bit of a shorter vlog today. All right, so I will be back in just a little bit. Bye. Okay, I'm back. I almost got to my destination, and then I got a phone call that it had been canceled. So, there you go. Those things happen. But, you know, it is what it is. Happy Friday, right? So, let's see. Oh, look right up here. Live Beyond Addiction billboard for a treatment facility in Indianapolis. I feel like it should say life beyond addiction, not live beyond addiction. I was just listening to a little Jennifer Hudson because when I was watching this pageant last night, Nicole Love Dupree did If This Isn't Love by Jennifer Hudson. I love that song so much. If this isn't love, L-O-V-E. I am like way off tune today. I am nobody to be singing any kind of songs today. So anyway, the thing that I had to do, I don't have to do now. So, yeah, I get to vlog for a little bit and then go home and get Mr. Boo Radley and take him to the vet today. He always acts like such a baby when he goes to the vet. It's not his favorite place to go. And, but I love our vet so much. She's so fantastic. They're really good about getting us in right away, too. Like, that's the other thing. Or, like, if I call and I have a question, like, she calls back, like, really quick. Or one of her, like, technicians, like, their technicians, I feel like, are just, like, really compassionate and caring and very educated. So, yeah, so that's today. And then watching the movie tonight. And then tomorrow, Alex has some work stuff to do, and I'll probably film some videos. And then I think Alex has, Tanya jokes about it because Alex always has so many birthday parties to go to. And he has some birthday thing he has to go to. Oh, no. A friend of his is moving. And so, she's moving to Canada. And, so anyway, tomorrow is like her going away thing, but it's like early. He said it's like at 5 or something like that. So he's going to that. I don't know if he has any plans tomorrow night or not. I'll probably still be listening to that audiobook that I'm trying to get through. Somebody asked me in my booktube video, I don't know if they watch my vlog too, but most of the people I think that watch my booktube video also watch my vlog, so I'll just answer it over here. Somebody asked me, because I was talking to my booktube channel about like having a really hard time getting through this book, and that like if it wasn't for the book club, I don't even know that I would finish it and whatever. And so somebody asked me, they said, do you usually finish a book, like if you don't have to read it for like a book club or something, like if you didn't like it, would you finish it? In all honesty, like there have been books for the book club that I did not finish. It's been a really long time. I can't honestly, it was like the first year that we did it, and there was some book that I didn't finish. I can't remember what it was now. But no, I was real honest about it. And then I finished it afterwards, actually. But I don't, very rarely do I ever, like it's called DNFing, do not finish. It's like what they call it on BookTube. Very rarely do I DNF a book, especially if it's short, like 7 or 8 hours on Audible. Then I'll like listen to the whole thing and just like rate it. And I know that you can like exchange credits like on Audible for books that you don't like, but it's not like I want to go do that for like all these books. I very rarely, to be honest with you, get a book that I don't want to finish. Like this book is interesting to me. It's just really hard because of the subject matter to read. It's very dark. I wanted to look something up really quick, because I think I remember the book that I didn't finish, and I want to see if I'm right about it. Pull in here. Park at the gas station really quickly. This one contact for me today is driving me crazy. I think it's because it's so bright outside. Sometimes Goodreads doesn't load. Remember what book it was. So it doesn't really have anything to do with that, but like Mexican Gothic, I did not enjoy, and that was for my book club. Well, and I did finish that. As far as like a true crime book club, for the books in that, I usually try to go back and finish it, even like if I didn't finish it in time for the live discussion, because I feel like they're important books to have read, to talk about like in the canon of true crime. Like I want to be able to talk about those cases and know about those cases more than past just having a discussion about it. I cannot remember what the book was that I didn't finish. But you know, like I struggle with like not like DNFing a book. I really struggle with that. I think I made a video about it like on BookTube like a couple years ago, where I said that like, I can't remember what I said in the video honestly, but my opinion's changed since then, because I think what I said was that I couldn't DNF a book, but I was like gonna start trying to DNF books, because what would happen is I would give a book like 50 to 100 pages, which would equal to probably like an hour and a half on Audible, 2 hours on Audible. And then if I would get that far in a book and I didn't like the book, then I wouldn't finish it. And, but you know, in all honesty, by the time that I've gotten to 100 or 200 pages, 100 pages of a 300 page book, like it's really hard for me not to finish the book. I can remember there was this book, it was by, I think, Jennifer Smith. I read it for Booktubeathon, and it was about this girl that, it was her friend, like her best friend. She like had a crush on him, and they were all like real poor, and he was turning 18, and so she bought him a lottery ticket for his birthday, and he won like the $100 million lottery, and it was called Wish something. I can't remember. I bought it because the cover looked gorgeous, and I thought, I just was, you know, sometimes you read these like synopsises of the books, and the synopsis is like, sounds so much better than what the book is actually about. And I can remember I got like 50 pages in that book, and I almost like changed it and was going to put another book in instead for Book Tubeathon. And I was like, no, push myself through. And I can remember I finished that book, and I thought I shouldn't have read that book. Like, I think I gave it a 2 or a 3. I'd be really surprised if I pulled it up and I didn't give it a 2 or 3. But, usually I know, that's the thing, at like 50 book pages or so, I mean, I can kind of tell. It's like going on a date. I mean, I've always said this. Like, I could tell back in the day when I'm not a good dater, first of all. Like, I never have been. Because I'm either like really excited and my expectations are way too high for a date, or I really don't want to go and I'm just going because, you know, I was asked and I feel like, you know, I should go. I can usually tell within like the first 5 minutes of a date whether I would like to spend like the rest of my life with this person or if I'm wasting my time. Which I think is why, like, I was never a person that could, I don't know how, like, books all of a sudden translated right into talking about dating. But it's also one of the reasons why I could never, I mean, not that I couldn't, but that I didn't date more than one person at the same time. Like, I just, that wasn't for me. When a lot of my friends have done that, you know, been like, I just think, I don't know how, like, you go on a date with somebody and you, like, really enjoy their company. I know whenever I say this, there are so many people out there that are like, I don't understand what you don't get about it. Like, even my friends have said that to me before. I'm like, I don't know how you date, like, 2 and 3 guys at the same time. And they're like, well, I enjoy all of their company, you know, and, like, I'm not really serious about settling down and whatever. I think that's the other thing, is that, like, I've always been serious about settling down. So whenever I'm single, like, if I'm single and I'm taking time to myself, I don't date. So if I would be asked out, which I was never asked out a lot. Like, I just wasn't, you know? But if I was asked out when I was single, and that was a period when I was kind of like working on myself, I would say, you know, like, I'm taking some time to myself right now. I'm not going on any dates or anything. But if I was single and I was dating, then I was single and I was dating looking for a husband. I mean, I just always was like that. Like, I've always been about wanting to be in like a monogamous relationship and having a boyfriend or a husband or whatever. Like, that's always been what I wanted. So for me to just, like, you know, when people are like, that was actually very hard with Alex for me, because, like, when people are like, you know, like, my girlfriends will be like, well, I'm just kind of enjoying dating around right now, and so I like these different guys' company and whatever. And you know what's interesting to me about that is, I've had several girlfriends that, like, they'll do that for years and years and years, and then at some point, that dump truck just went up on the curb. You know, the guys that they were dating will be like, I can't continue to do this. Like, I mean, well, first of all, they'll tell these guys we're not exclusive, but they won't tell them, like, you know, Monday night they went out with so-and-so, and then Tuesday night they went out of town to Chicago with so-and-so. Like, they don't tell them that the other ones exist. They just say we're not exclusive, right? And so, what's happened over the years to a lot of my girlfriends is, you know, they've hit like 40 or whatever, and then all of a sudden they want to settle down and they want to have kids, and they're like real worried because it's like, okay, it's getting late if I want to have kids and whatever. And all these guys that they've dated through the years You know, that they were just having fun dating these guys. All those guys are married and settled down and have wives and 2 kids, and, you know, and they were all catches, all of the guys, you know. And then my friends end up never getting married and having kids. I had this happen to a dear friend of mine. And, you know, and she knew it. She'd say, I was too interested in, you know, being cute and going out and with my girlfriends and having a couple drinks and dating, and I just didn't want to settle down. And now that I do, it's like you know, it's too late. I'm not going to have kids and whatever. And, I don't know. I always, from a very young age, wanted to be in, like, some very serious, committed relationship. When I started dating Alex, like, Alex was very upfront with me from the beginning. He was like, I don't want to settle down. I don't want to be in a serious relationship. I mean, he was very upfront with me about that from the very beginning. And I had a hard time with that because I had really never dated anybody or gone on a date with anybody that had been that upfront with me before, you know? And, and he was like, you know, I don't even know that I want to settle down, let alone, I mean, he was real honest. He's like, I don't know that I want to settle down, let alone settle down, you know, with you and whatever. I mean, he was wanting to have fun, and he was still dating when we first, like, got together. And, but that kind of ended really quick, though, because from, like, the first date on, we started spending, like, every night together. But I think when I came into the picture, he had been dating, you know, like, a couple people, like, talking to a couple different people. I don't know, for me, like, I've never understood that. I mean, it's not a gay, straight thing. It's obviously just a personality thing, you know, of who can do that and who can't. What is that sound? Do you hear that? It sounds like whistling. I do think that's the difference, was like, I mean, it's interesting to me that, well, you know, the other thing was when I met Alex, like, I didn't really want to settle down and have a serious relationship. I mean, I'm always looking for that in a relationship if I'm going to go on a date. But specific to that date, like, I had already decided that I was going to kind of, like, I had decided I wanted to move to Colorado. And I had called my best friend that night because I had canceled on Alex twice before on the date. And he kind of continued to push it. And, so I called my friend in Denver and I said, you know, I don't really want to go on this date. Like, there's no point if I'm going to move to Colorado. And he said, well, just go on the date, you know, and at least you make a new friend, maybe. Because worst case scenario, you make a new friend and you have an okay date. It was like, best case scenario, maybe, you know, it turns into something, or you've met a really nice guy or whatever. And that was why I ended up going on the date. And it was the easiest date I'd ever been on in my entire life. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was just so easy and so laid back, and I really felt comfortable with him. Alex actually had a date for the next day that he canceled to go hang out with me again. But listen to this car in front of me. And maybe that was the difference, you know, like, I didn't go into it, like, I don't remember sitting across the table from him thinking, like, is this guy gonna, like, be my husband, like, how I had in previous dating situations, you know. I can remember just, like, being like, okay, we're going out to dinner, and I mean, in all honesty, like, if I get lucky, I get lucky kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really think, like, any much more than that, honestly. And then we ended up having, like, I will never forget, he, like, walked in front of my car when I picked him up. I picked him up at his friend's house because he was in school downtown, and he had stopped over to change at his friend's condo. And so, like, I was parked in the street when he, like, walked over. God, it feels like it was yesterday. It's crazy. And he walked in front of me to give me this, like, cute little wave. Remember, he had this, like, blue, like, Express. I know it's Express because he's, like, had it since, but this blue, like, turquoise-ish, like, polo shirt on with jeans, and he has his backpack with him, and he just kind of gave me, like, this cute little wave. And I can remember when he walked in front of the car, and he just, like, turned and waved at me. I was like, he, like, looked and turned and was like, I was like, you are so screwed. I was like, he is so cute. And, then we went out to dinner, and we had, like, a great conversation. Like, we didn't even, like, finish our meals or anything. We just kept on talking and talking. It was just so easy, you know? And, I don't know. And I think it was because I went into it with absolutely no expectations whatsoever. Much like books, maybe. That when I go into a book with no expectations, you know? I enjoy it so much more now. Books are like men, aren't they? Oh gosh. I guess it depends on the book. I remember I went to go pick up this one guy that I was kind of dating off and on the year before I met Alex. I mean, I could tell you just bad dating stories, okay? Like, one after another after another. I have so many bad dating stories. I remember I went to go pick up this guy, and he was real cute, and we got along okay, but I just knew it wasn't real deep. Like, it was like, you know, we were going on dates and whatever, but, like, I think I was hoping, like, maybe he had the capacity to get deeper, like, as far as conversation. Like, for me, like, I don't care if I'm dating the cutest guy in the entire world. If there's no depth there or no, like, entertaining, I'm going to turn around now. Let's go back so I can get rattling. But if there's no, like, depth or no, like, humor, or, I mean, I get bored real quick. Like, I have to be with somebody that, like, I'm entertained by to a certain degree. Somebody that's going to be able to hold a conversation, you know, that has a good sense of humor. Oh, this little kid got off the school bus and, like, turned back and, like, waved at the school bus. That was so sweet. But anyway, I can remember there was this guy, and he was so attractive and was, like, in such great shape and all this kind of stuff. I mean, he was truly sexy. And so I said something to him about, like, I want to take you out on a date. And, he was like, okay. And he was like, well, where do you want to go? And I said, I don't know, just, you know, get dressed nice, you know, get dressed, and, like, I'll come pick you up. And, or no, I think I said something like, get dressed, like, I'm, like, totally showing a different side of myself. I was like, get dressed the way that you think that I would like you to look, or something like that. I can't remember. I said something cheesy. And I'll pick you up and take you somewhere or whatever. Okay, here's the situation. I met him at a bar. It was a one-night stand. It was one of very few one-night stands I've ever had in my life. I don't know why at 49 years old. I'm embarrassed to admit that, but whatever. But it was a one-night stand. It was a good one-night stand. And so I was kind of hoping maybe he was more than just, you know, a cute guy. And so I was like, I want to take you out. And he was like, oh, okay, that'd be fun. And, like, what should I wear? How should I dress? And I was like, you dress however you want to dress, but dress how you think that I was, like, trying to be, you know, like, all that and whatever. So I show up to pick him up, okay? And I'm, like, dressed nice. Like, for me at the time was, like, Well, it was like colder, so I had on like a flannel shirt, and I don't know, I looked nicer, but whatever. And I can't remember where I was gonna take him, but like I show up, and he's, true story, are you ready for this? White tank top. I mean, he looked hot, but not for going on no date, okay? He had on a white tank top, gray sweatpants, pulled up over his calves. He was a dancer, so he had like real nice legs and stuff. Pulled up over his calves with like white tube socks pulled up, in construction boots, and a denim jacket on, and a baseball hat backwards, okay? And I was like, okay, this, I'm like all dressed up. I'm like, where are we? He goes, where are we going? And I was like, well, I can't remember where I said I was going to take him. But we ended up going to Subway, and then going back to his house and just kind of hanging out. Needless to say, I only saw him one other time after that, and that didn't end up happening. I think he's married today, actually. I think I saw somewhere something about him being married. Anyway, he was a really nice guy, and he was super fine, but we were just not on the same page. And then I went on this other date with this guy that like my friend hooked me up with, that I was like really into this guy. Thought he was so cute. And I remember he was real nervous around me. And he was like, well, what should I wear for the date? And I was like, let's just be real casual, you know, or whatever. And he was like, oh, okay. And so he shows up, and well, I can't remember how I said it. I said, you know, just casual, something going out to dinner casual or whatever. I guess, you know, for me that meant something else. So he showed up, and I had on like, you know, like a polo shirt and like jeans and like, you know, flip-flops or something. I don't wear flip-flops anymore, but back in the day I did. And I'd never forget, he showed up, and he like, I mean, he was like real casual. Like he looked like he just got done working in the yard, or like came from the gym or something like that. I always just think it's kind of like a job interview thing, you know, like a date. Like, you don't want to overdress, you know? Like back in the day when we would do like group interviews, and it would always be interesting to me when like some guy would show up, you know, in like a 3-piece suit to an interview that was for like not a job that you would wear a 3-piece suit to, you know? But it's like for a date, it's like the same thing. It's like, you don't want to overdress. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you want to show up to a date that you're going to, you know, Applebee's, and you're wearing like a beaded gown, right? But like maybe nicer than casual, just a little bit casual. You know what I mean? Just keep it kind of, you know, cute or whatever. I think those might be the only 2 dates I went on in the year that between dating Alex. See, I'm not a dater. I'm not. Oh, I did. Oh, okay, so I did have this kind of stalker though, guy. This was weird. When Alex and I both started dating, we both kind of had stalkers. I'm always kind of weird to tell these stories on here because I always wonder, like if they watch my vlogs or not. I mean, I'm sure they don't, but Alex actually had this kind of stalker guy that he like had. I think I've talked about this on here before. Well, my ex truly did have a stalker, my first boyfriend, that worked at the Marriott with him, and we had to get a restraining order against him and stuff like that. It was weird. He was going through our trash. It was all kinds of weirdness. But anyway, Alex had this guy that just, I don't know if I would call him a stalker, but he just was obsessed with Alex, and like they had gone on one date or something, and so like everywhere we would be, like he would just come over and just stand there. It just was so uncomfortable, and I was just like, okay, like he doesn't want to be with you, like. And Alex had said things to him too, you know, like, okay, like you need to give me some, like we would show up to go out to the bar, and he would just come over and just stand there with us the whole night, like we were friends. We weren't friends. It just was bizarre. Anyway, and then Alex would be like, oh, there's that guy over there, blah, blah, blah. And I'd look, and he'd just be like staring a hole through us. It just was so weird. Well, I have this guy that I met when I was single, and I met him out one night. Like I was out with friends, and we were at this bar called OP's. And he started talking to me, and he was like, oh my God, I know you, Peter. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, do I know you? And he was like, yeah, we were really good friends back in the day. Well, I've had people say stuff to me about, you know, back in the day when I was drinking. I don't remember. And I was like, we were. And he started naming all the people that I hung out with back in the day. And I was like, oh, you know, and there's always kind of like those 1 or 2, 3 people that kind of were like part of that I don't really like remember that well. And he was like, yeah, he was like, we used to hang out all the time and blah, 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 blah whatever. And, or he was like, I always wanted to be with you, but you always had a boyfriend, which was kind of true. I did. Like, I mean, when I was drinking and using, and he made it very clear that that was the period when we hung out together, was when I was drinking. So like if I didn't remember him, that would make sense, right? And he had on like this sailor's hat, not a sailor's hat, but like a, what do you call it? Like a ski hat, kind of like out, you know, like a winter knit hat. And then he had like this roll neck sweater. He looked like a sailor that had just literally, he was cut in some stubble. And so anyway, he was like, yeah, I always wanted to date you, but you always had a boyfriend. And I go, oh, that's not true. He goes, no, you always had a boyfriend or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So we're sitting there talking, and he was like, can I have your, he like kind of like acted like he wanted to like go home with me or something like that. And I was like, no, here's my number. Like we can go on a date or whatever. And he was like, okay. So I gave him my number. He like called me that night, called me the next day. Anyway, you guys, I have to tell you the weirdest thing that happens with my, this is the second time that it's happened with my camera. Okay, so I looked up and the battery was flashing, it was dying. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna have to pull in here and change my battery. And I was looking for a place to pull in. And then all of a sudden, the battery just stopped, or the camera just stopped. Now, when the battery dies, typically the camera stops and then it retracts into itself. It just turns itself off, right? But this time, it just, and this is the second time it's done this, and I think it's because of the heat, it just went black, but it didn't retract into itself. And so, I'm going back in there to look to see where it stopped. And there was like, because the last piece that I have on here is when I was talking about this stalker dude, and I had like, that stopped right at the 29-minute mark, or 30-minute mark, or whatever it always stops at, you know, when I say it just stopped. But then I had filmed like 10 minutes on top of that, talking about this guy, and then going in and talking about my first boyfriend, and then like talking about the date that we went on and stuff like that. And I don't know what happens where it just deletes that footage from the camera. Maybe it's because the camera gets too hot or something. I don't know. It's like the most bizarre thing. I cannot figure it out, but it's not even on my memory card. And I just filmed 10 minutes finishing talking about this guy, and then talking about I was going back and talking about, I was like, how did I even get started talking about this? Oh, books. And then I was talking about books and like guys I had dated, and I was like going back and talking about my first date with my very first boyfriend, my first date with my second boyfriend, whatever. But isn't that so weird that it just erases the footage from my camera? I don't even get it. I don't understand. It's like hot, but it's not that hot today. It's 84. So anyway, to end that story about that guy, I don't even know where it ended now. I was talking about his hat or something, I think. He just was like super weird and scary, and like wherever I would end up, like show up, he would like text me and be like, oh, you look really hot tonight, or you look really cute tonight. And one time I was in this parking lot of this bar called The 10, and there's all these apartment complexes around. There was like nobody in the parking lot. I was like the only person out there, I think. I don't really remember, honestly. I had to go to my car and get something, or we were leaving. I don't remember, but anyway, he texted me like when I was in the parking lot, and he was like, you look really hot tonight. And I hadn't seen him in the club, and that kind of like really scared me. And then I kind of like just put an end to it. I don't remember how I ended it. I don't remember what I said. I got kind of rude about it. Maybe him showing up to my house was after that. My apartment was after that. I think that's what happened, was he showed up to my apartment after that. I don't know that was on the previous footage or not, but I was talking about how he showed up to my apartment one time, like, really late at night. Oh, he was like, I just wanted to make sure you got home okay. And I was like, what? It just was like, he was just weird. He was just real weird. And then, I just stopped hearing from him, like, you know. But then I was talking about, like, my first date. I don't really remember my first date that I went on with my very first boyfriend. I don't remember what we did for the date at all. But I do remember afterwards, I took him to these two friends of ours' house he was staying with. Because, like, they had a house, and so he was staying with them. And I dropped him off, and I remember we both loved Dave Matthews, and so we were listening to Dave Matthews Band, and it was, like, cranking out of my windows. And, our anniversary was would have been November, because we met on Halloween. And I remember we were listening to Dave Matthews Band, and I kissed him goodnight. It was very sweet, very innocent. And then my first date with my last ex, I remember I gave him my number, and then we ended up talking, like, that was on a Sunday night. We ended up talking on, like, Monday and Tuesday, like, for, like, 3 hours, like, on the phone. It just was, like, real natural right from the beginning. And then he came up on Wednesday night from Seymour, and we went on a date. And, you know, I don't remember what we did on our first date either. I don't remember where we went. Isn't that so weird? I have no clue where we went on our first date. I can't believe I can't remember that. But I remember that he drove home. Like, we went to dinner somewhere. We were pretty, like, started dating seriously, like, very quickly, he and I. And then he would come up, like, most weekends. We went on a date. Well, I do know this, because our anniversary of he and I is Alex's birthday. So the following weekend, or whatever week, was my birthday, and that was when my friend and I, the one that I went on a date with years before, we decided that we would just be friends. We went to, I think it was Farm Aid, was on my birthday or something, I don't know. We went and saw, like, some bands out at Deer Creek, and we came home, and he had driven all the way up here and brought me this wooden jewelry box, and that had all these bracelets in it, and he had all these flowers and stuff that he put on. It was on my doorstep when I got home from the concert. And I can remember I thought he was, like, around, like, in the parking lot, like, waiting to surprise me, and I was real excited. And I, like, called him, and he had dropped it off and, like, driven all the way back home again. That kind of sealed it for me. I was like, anybody that's going to drive that distance just to leave some flowers and some jewelry on my other jewelry box. I still have that jewelry box. It's a nice one. On my doorstep, like that's pretty cool. God, why can't I remember where we went on our first date? I don't have any clue. That is the weirdest thing, that I don't remember that. I can see him showing up at my door. That's what's weird. I can see what he wore and everything, but I don't know where we went. I have no idea where we went. Funny. It's funny the things you remember and don't remember as you get older, you know? Well, I hope traffic's not bad for me to get to the, I drove too far out. I'll be fine. Do you guys have big plans for the weekend? Are you real excited? What are you going to do this weekend? Anything fun? If you have fun plans for the weekend, put it in the comment section below. I don't have big plans for the weekend, and I'm very happy about that. Just relaxing plans, just hanging out, not doing a whole lot. Oh, I didn't vlog last night. So last night, did I talk about this? How I cleaned the kitchen and I lit all these candles? I lit all these candles last night. The house was so nice, smelled so good. I lit all like my summer candles, like the Island Margaritas from Bath and Body Works. I had like 2 candles going in the kitchen. It's like the candle, like the lights turned off. I had the kitchen all cleaned. I had the living room cleaned. I had like candles lit in the living room. Oh, I started watching, what was the movie called? It was a shark movie. I had it on the background while I was doing stuff. Deep Blue Sea 2 or something. It was about these sharks that they had like trained, or like they were like on a remote control. It was stupid. Have you ever seen this movie? It was so stupid. So that was last night. Had everything. What does this bumper sticker say? F something and find out. F something and I don't know what it means. F. I don't understand a lot of bumper stickers. Am I stupid or something? I don't get a lot of bumper stickers. Oh well. All right, you guys, listen. I'm gonna get off here now and go home and get little Boo Rattly and take him to little Boo Rattly, and take him to the vet, the doctor. I always say, Boo Rattly, you're going to see the doctor today. He's like, oh no, I'm good. I can just stay right here. I don't need to go to the doctor. But he's gonna go to the doctor today. So anyway, I'm gonna go home and get a little Boo Rattly and take him to the doctor, and then I'm gonna come home. I'll probably film some videos. Alex is stopping by his mom's house before he comes home, and then Sarah's coming over and we're gonna watch movies. And I don't know what we're gonna watch. I kind of want to watch A Quiet Place too, is what I want to watch, but I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, all right, you guys, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I hope you're having a magically amazing Friday, a wonderful, amazing, magically amazing, wonderful, a magically amazing beginning to your weekend. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!